I'm Sandra James, the single strategist for women. And I love helping single women of faith with a desire to be married to manifest a more fulfilled, purposeful life. And today, what we want to talk about is something that is a little bit taboo. It is the big M, masturbation. We want to talk about that today. And I know women don't like to talk about this. Now, I don't know what men talk about in their circles, but women, they don't want to talk about this. And we need to talk about it. So today, what I want to do is just give you a few, just about 3 tips to help you to overcome that addiction. Because it can turn into what starts out as just, self-gratification can turn into a straight addiction. And I know that you know what I'm talking about. I was once there, so I know all about it. But I made some notes. So we're going to talk about this, and then I'm out of your hair. So now, one thing that the enemy loves to do is to tell you how to please yourself, how to bring gratification to yourself. But he leaves out the most important part, and that part is, how do I stop when I want to stop? When I'm tired of doing that, how do I stop? And he forgets to tell you that part. So it's sort of like being in a prison. I always talk about prison because although I've never actually spent any long-term time in jail, prison is not a place that I want to be. And a lot of the metaphors that I use are about prison because, when I was trapped in that masturbation area, the area of masturbation, it was like a prison. And when I was ready to go, I couldn't go. I couldn't just walk out and go. I was being held hostage almost. And so I just want to shed a little light and to help those who are struggling in this area. So trusting God with your sexual frustrations is kind of scary. When I was newly single after being married for 9 years, my first question to God was, now, what are you going to do so that I won't want to have sex? Are you going to sprinkle something on my vagina? Or what is it that you're going to do to help me with that? And that was my biggest concern after getting a divorce. I just didn't understand what was going to happen. I didn't know. This was my first time being single. And from having sex to now going, and you're not supposed to have sex unless you're married, right? So my biggest concern was, okay, so what do I do with these urges? So what we're going to talk about is the 3 culprits. Now, there are many more, but here are 3 culprits that actually feed those desires. So number 1, the first thing is to take inventory of what you're looking at, right? You may say, what you're looking at? Yes, what you're looking at. Okay, so you have the internet, you have TV, you're inundated with sexual images all day long. Now, the thing about this is you have to make a choice. What is going into your eye gates? These areas are so important to keep guard of because your ears and your eyes are those areas that all of this trash goes in. So when we say take inventory, that means what is going in? What are you looking at? Are you looking at images that you should not be looking at? Think about this. If your flesh is out of control, there are probably 3 areas, 3 culprits. I call them culprits. There are 3 culprits that are probably feeding those desires. And you're frustrated, you're sexually frustrated because of these 3 areas. And the first one is what is going into your eye gates. What gets let into the soul actually feed the flesh. So it needs to be those things that are good and those things that are pure. So let me ask you a question. Now, this is very simple, but it's something I just want you to stop, pause, and just take a look at. So as you're going up your Facebook feed and you see a video, and the video says twerking, something about twerking, right? Now, do you go back and do you click on that video and watch that twerking? Or do you bypass it because it says twerking? Okay, let me give you another example. What about you see 3 women or 3 men, whatever, 3 women, 3 men, and they are half naked. And although you're not interested, but you're curious, so you go back up your feed to where the image was. These are the small decisions that you have to make in order to keep your flesh under control. Because if you don't, your flesh will be out of control and you will be frustrated. And you will live years and years and years of being sexually frustrated, mad at the world because you can't have sex because you're a Christian girl, and you will be bitter. So these are the things that I want to bring some awareness to, okay? And then number 2 is take inventory of what you're listening to. Now this is how you know if you're listening to too much secular music. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot listen to secular music. What I'm saying, as a Christian, there should be a balance. So the first thing you turn on in the morning is a secular music, secular radio. And then, every now and then you may turn on your gospel. There is not a balance there. And if you look at it, your flesh may start acting up. It may start rising up. And it's because of what you're listening to. So those are 2 areas right there, what you're listening to and what you are watching. Those 2 areas will get you every time. So you have to take inventory, okay? The third thing, and this is a touchy subject, but I'm going to say it anyway. Drinking wine, because I know you don't drink hard alcohol, but drinking wine and smoking herb. You might say, I don't smoke herb. I just drink on occasion. Okay. I'm not here to debate if drinking is good or not good. I don't drink personally. And that is because I was at one point an alcoholic. And at the age of 25, I rededicated my life back to God, and I have not taken a drink since 25. That's been 20 years ago. And you may say, well, there's nothing in the Bible about you're going to go to hell if you drink. I didn't say you would go to hell, but there are doors that open up, and then with it comes other sin. So just say, drinking is not a sin, but the things that come with it lead you into a sinful life. So that's why I don't open those doors, because they're not good for me. Okay? So if you're having problems in your flesh, take a look at those 3 areas. And you may say, well, I only drink and smoke on occasion, smoke a little herb on occasion, every now and then, because I have arthritis or I have bone problems or whatever. Now, drinking and smoking makes you horny. And you might say, well, I don't get horny. It just makes me relax. Okay, then it makes you relax. That's fine. But see, you don't have to convince me that there's a problem with either of those things. It's not my place to tell you, hey, you better quit that. It's not this is between you and God. You have to make a decision. Now, if you want your flesh to calm down and to quiet down, you have to take inventory, what you're looking at, what you're listening to, what you're drinking, and what you're smoking. It's just that simple. It's up to you to make those choices. Okay? So alcohol in itself, I don't believe, is a sin, but it is a door opener. And that door opener, sometimes it's more than what you're bargaining for. So for me, it is not a good thing, because you don't want to know me years ago. I wasn't, I'm a different person now. Just let's say that. But if you're having problems in your flesh, take inventory. Most likely, one of these areas are a culprit. Okay? So this has been Sandra James from sandrajames.tv, and I'll see you in the next video.